It's midday and it's time for Newsbeat. You're welcome to the news here on Metro TV. We're live from the Ekriabuahima studio at North Ridge. Follow us on social media platform is Metro TV Ghana on Facebook. Also on Instagram and Twitter is Metro TV_GH. Follow us on DSTV channel 277 as well. We'll take a closer look at the headlines of stories coming up. Chamber of Freight and Trade faults Special Prosecutor for misapplying the law and retrieving millions of cedis from the frozen food company La Bianca, owned by a member of the Council of State, Eunice Jacqueline Boa Asuma Hine. This association condemns the Ada radio station for being barred from actually being blacklisted from covering the Asafoetida festival, describing it as a clampdown on press freedom. And on the foreign front, leaders of the West African Regional Bloc ECOWAS have condemned the violence that erupted in various parts of Sierra Leone on Wednesday. I'm Eni Frampofe. Welcome to the details. Now, Chamber of Freight and Trade is the latest to take a bite on the La Bianca issue. According to them, the Customs Division of the GRA and the Deputy Commissioner in charge of operations, Eduche, acted within the confines of the law, which is Section 12 of the Customs Act, which sets out the rules and conditions for advance ruling, adding that the Customs is a member of the World Customs Organization. Hence, Eduche was not wrong to have also rallied on the rules and guidelines of the World Customs Organization, which respects to advance ruling. Now, the Chamber of Freight and Trade further noted that La Bianca CEO Eunice Jacqueline Boa Asuma Hine and Customs did not violate the law in any way and has not acted in contrary to the Customs Act, and there was no influence peddling as the report seeks to paint. Now, before we hear from the chamber, let's listen to the Commissioner of SEPS, Colonel Retired Kojo Damwa.
Reports purporting or coming from the Office of the Special Prosecutor trying to indict the Deputy Commissioner of Operations and myself. And anybody who has read that report very well will know the basis of that. And luckily for me, God is always on my side. Before that report came, that person had made a statement to some people who had come to them. He was going to publish something that will discredit me, and he will do that. And I even sent people to go and tell him that he's a small boy. I'm older than him. I have lived a meaningful life. If he attempts to destroy me, it won't be easy for him. People have tried it. I have survived, and this one too, I'll survive. All that happened. One of the reasons was because of Mr. Akurugu. He wanted Mr. Akurugu to be seconded to his office, and I said no. Mr. Akurugu is a customs officer, primarily employed to do customs work. And he is to partner Mr. Akutofachin in that office, African Continental Free Trade Area. He deals with tariffs and valuation. And therefore, I cannot second him to the office of the Special Prosecutor because he has a primary role to play in customs. And then he comes back through the Commissioner General. And again, I said, I insist and will go by that he has a primary role. It is when I don't have a role for him or I can dispense with his services, I have others to do what he's going to do, that I will give him to you. So I insist. And he calls me to his office when in relation to La Bianca. And at the end of it, he talks to me about this same matter. And I said, yes, it is not the Commissioner General. I wrote it. Go and check it. And I have my reasons. He will not be released to you. He will be in customs. And then behind me, he goes to resign. He's given the position of Commissioner of Police a rank, and he's now with your office. And he goes to make allegations that Mr. Duche and myself will hit him, and they will deal with us. So that is it. That is the basis of that publication. But if you read it very well, there's nothing in it. It's hollow. It's actuated by malice. And those who are behind it, they know themselves. They know themselves. They've tried it several times. It is not working, and it won't work. I'm ready for any prosecution. That's what he must do. Not to say that they should do further investigations up to 2017. Up to 2015, I have letters written by Deputy Commissioner Dennis Agavo granting similar things. And I produced them when he called me. He didn't have the letters, but I had the letters. My predecessor, Mr. Kenson, had those letters. This is common practice in customs. If you want to remove me, I have no problems. I won't be Commissioner Customs forever. I'm ready to go. But don't disgrace me. Don't hide behind people for your own failures, incompetencies, and then come and deal.
All right, let's do some more on the story. And Samson Asake Awingobet is Executive Secretary of Importers and Exporters Association of Ghana. He's in the studio for conversation. And we also have Geoffrey Okanse, who is a tax expert also, who's joined me here in the studio. Also on Zoom is Dennis Asafoetida. Dennis is the president of Chamber of Freight and Trade. Dennis, are you there? Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yeah, I can hear you, my
Okay,
sister.
thank you for joining us. Good afternoon to you. Welcome to Newsbeat, and good afternoon to you as well. You're welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you
for joining.
Thank you.
Dennis, I'll start off with you via Zoom. So you are in support, or let me say, against the steps that has been taken by the OSP, and you say he didn't go according to the law. Which law did he not go by?
All right, thank you, and thank you to your listeners too. My sister, we are not saying he didn't go by the law. We are saying he should situate all the arguments within the confines of the law. Why do we say that? Customs do not work on its own. It has rules and regulations. And the Customs Act 2015, Act 891, set out the rules and regulations and conditions under which customs will classify, value, and clear cargo. Now, Section 12 of that Act states clearly Customs Advance Ruling. And it sets out all the modalities, the guidelines, the documentation, who can qualify and who doesn't qualify. And it states it doesn't discriminate against any individual, irrespective of your position.
I'm sorry, we're having some challenges with Dennis there via Zoom. Dennis, if you can just hold on, let me come into the studio until your line is stable, then we come back to you. Geoffrey, okay, let me get to Awingobet first, because they are directly, what do you make of all this development?
Well, strongly, good afternoon to your listeners and yourself, and my very good friend Geoffrey here. What had occurred within this week is a big blow to the Importers and Exporters Association, for that matter. It was important for us to come out and then help educate the public, the Ghanaian public, to understand how the customs operations and procedure happens, and then who deserves what and who does not deserve what. With this report that by the Special Prosecutor, I have some few observations to make. One of the things is that at the point, the Special Prosecutor made it Ghanaian to understand that the woman did not apply for any special benchmark values. Is that not it? Mm-hmm. But she was given.
The CEO of
Yes,
LaBianca.
exactly. Mm-hmm. But she was given by custom. Now, in this regard, you have a staff here and you are working with clients. I'm sure if your client is doing something good for you, you can motivate the person to do more. Mm-hmm. Now, in this regard, under custom, if you are an importer in volumes and custom monitor and realize that you are tax compliant, mm-hmm. You've been declaring the rightful quantities and the rightful prices to them, and they are getting more monies from you. There's nothing wrong from custom giving you a special benchmark values. Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong. It is within the ambit of custom. They have discretionary power. That's why some time ago, before the Custom Act, we used to have commissioner values. A custom officer can give you your values. Then if I'm not satisfied, if the hue is too huge, I can go to the commissioner and say, look, this is my price. It's not. The woman did not even go. You always pay. But custom decided, because look at the volume, the quantum of cargo that he was bringing and the duties that she was paying. So if she was given a discount.
Well, why is customs making a decision on behalf of the woman?
It's not only on behalf of the woman. It is open to any importer in this country. So far as you are involved, it is true. You can apply first. If you look at the special prosecutor report, it said the woman does not apply. She was supposed to apply.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. At times, the customs also use their own discretionary powers. It is within the ambit. Mind you, the special prosecutor and the commissioner, the deputy commissioner of customs, who has been at the GRA for over 30 years or 20-something years, does not understand their law, how their law and their policies operate. But it takes the special prosecutor with the petitioner to get to know, okay, look, you were supposed to, why did you give discount? So, pay. And the woman has paid. This became criminality in this country.
Let's imagine this scenario where, because customs has a prerogative to decide on giving discretionary reduction of duty payment, and because they have the right, they keep applying it to every business. Do you know what you're putting Ghana through?
No, but it's the person's in business. You are in business to make profit, isn't it?
Yes,
if the woman,
you're charged business depending on your quantity of goods you import into the country.
Yes, the customs are assessing you based on your values. They give you special discount based on the quantities that you are bringing every month consistently. I hope you are getting it. If the special prosecutor report were to say that the woman got the product from her supplier maybe $2,000, she paid freight because Ghana custom calculate duty, assess you based on cost of FOB and freight. You understand?
Yeah.
For you to pay the duty to the state. That okay. So when the goods landed in Ghana, 2,000 from the supplier she paid plus freight, maybe let's take 1,000 assumption without admitting, it's $3,000. And the woman arrived here and present to customs that, oh look, my supplier is giving to me 1,500. Tell me you shortchange government and the people of Ghana by $500. Or he paid 1,500 as freight and say I paid 1,000 for freight. He shortchanged 1,500 plus 500, it's $1,000. That one is criminal, it's crime. But with this, I have presented my document to customs. Customs decided to give me this. How can someone be sitting at Ghana Port and Harbour Authority board?
Customs.
Hold on.
Hold on. You're saying that customs decides.
Yes.
Without the application from the business side.
Yes.
To give you a discount.
Yes.
Without you applying for it, and that is okay.
It is okay. Why? Because they are doing it because of your volumes. They are doing it because the quantum of taxes that they are getting, the customer is getting from you. They are doing it because since they were tax compliant.
Okay, hold on. Let me go to Dennis. I'll come to you, Geoffrey. Let me go to Dennis. Dennis, thank you for joining us back. I hope you can hear me. Hello, Dennis. Can you
I can hear you.
Okay, great. I can hear you now. So what's the point you were making before we lost you?
Okay, so my point was simple. We want to situate the argument in the context of the law. And the law is simple. Section 12 of the law states clearly that every importer and exporter within the jurisdiction of this country has the right to apply to customs and engage them on certain conditions. One, the classification of their cargo. Two, the value of the cargo. Three, the country of origin. So the law is clear. So it doesn't discriminate if based on your position or your status in society. Once you import cargo into this country, you have the right to put in that application. The law also makes it clear that customs also has the right to either accept, decline, or vary that application you put in. Hence, if an importer like La Bianca puts in an application and then customs in his wisdom do due diligence over the application and arrives at a certain decision and decides that it's going to waive or give a reduction of 5% on the benchmark value for the importer, and the importer also accepts and pays their duty, what wrong has they committed? It is all within the confines of the law.
So there's a question around, did La Bianca apply for a reduction?
That is the question I want all of us to look at. Look at the point 418 of the OSP's report. Again, point 4.19. At the point, the OSP is saying or claims to say that La Bianca did not apply. And then at another point, The OSP is claiming that if the application had been rejected, we wouldn't have gotten to this situation.
So
At the same point, he says if the applicant
says
does not qualify.
Okay, so 4.19 says the admission by the officials of Labianca that the entity did not apply for a customs advance ruling Bailey's, okay, Mr. Edu Chase stance, and it vividly portrays all pretenses of propriety of action by the official, the outcome of the application, so, which found blah, 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 blah. So it's made clear that she did not apply.
So special procedure is not Supreme Court.
Yeah, let him come, let him land, and then I'll come back.
Determine the Constitution, what the law says.
Hello, Dennis, can you hear me? Okay, Dennis is frozen again. Let me involve you. Let me involve you now.
Right.
You're
Let me. The two words Dennis used, and my brother has also used the same word, to apply. You need to apply for it.
Which quoting the customs.
What you just rightly read just now means Labianca did not apply for it.
That according to
but my brother, before we move forward, are you aware that some people have applied and they've been rejected?
Of course, yes.
You accept?
Yes.
You accept?
Yes.
When others need it, those who are in need have applied for it and you have rejected them. Now think about their feeling. I'll proceed.
Yes.
Just be thinking about their feeling. Now, tax exemptions. May the good Lord bless this land. We've passed the tax exemption bill. In your studios here, I've always been worried, let's pass the tax exemption bill. This is one of the reasons why we're calling for the tax exemptions bill. For the bill to guide the granting of exemptions. Now let me go forward. When you pick the issue at hand, the special prosecutor is saying, mind you the period we are in now, the revenue situation we find this country in right now, we call something tax justice. Taxes are not just to take money for the state alone. It is one of the ways of bridging the gap between the poor and the rich. Those who get more must be taxed more. They are not supposed to be relieved the more. So that statement you made early on...
And even affects importers and local producers.
The statement you rightly mentioned that they actually pay more taxes is rather the reason why they should pay more and pay more. Because you are...
Which is paying?
Wait.
Which is
you
paying?
made... No, I won't batter, but I'll just tell you the truth. That globally...
No, you are saying not the truth.
No, the world over. One of the things you want taxes to do is to bridge the gap between the rich and the poor.
Absolutely.
And so, if you are granting more taxes, okay, for tax exemptions, to those who you are saying, because they pay more taxes, that is a non-starter to start with. Now, when you go...
Then go back to Parliament and take that discretionary powers from customs.
No, Mr.
Let's hear some of the
Mr. When the customs law was quoted, it says, on the basis of application, when you apply, hold on, even after applying, it goes on to say the customs officer will then review and justify why you have to be given. It means that the application is very necessary for it to be reviewed. So why will you say that you have the discretionary powers to grant exemption which the business has not applied for?
But nobody even before we get to your stage, I am asking, are we still the Ghana that needs the revenue that is in the trenches now?
Yes.
You remember the IMF project, the program we are talking about now? One of the things we have to be doing is to show IMF that we are doing more revenue generation efforts.
Okay.
You are here, you are accepting that those who are supposed to pay us the more taxes, we are readily giving them exemptions. Now let me tell you.
It is within custom law. It is within
you see.
It's within. It's not illegal.
There's one thing. And it is never illegal for the country Republic of Ghana to make sure that when we are in trenches now and we are going through the economic doldrums, it is rather proper for us to keep the money rather than to grant it.
Are you telling me?
So I'm not enjoying this banter.
So are you telling me that
Asaki, I'm sorry.
I'm not enjoying this banter because I want to take it step by step. The economic situation you find yourself will decide what you should be doing at what time. The powers there be for the customs, I do not argue with it. It is a law that exists, okay, that they will grant exemptions based on one thing that I'm loving you have said, that based on your application, then you ignite the system to do what? To start reviewing.
Right.
You do a critical review,
right.
and then your report per the review tells you how much you've granted.
Right.
So right now, if a special prosecutor is looking through the document, he wants to see an application. That's step one. The laws he is talking about, I'm not talking about any other different thing. The law he is talking about, it starts with application.
Application, right.
Please,
right.
can I land? Can I land? The laws was not meant for him. It was not meant for any individual alone. It is meant for the Republic of Ghana. You have to ignite it by applying.
Yeah.
Step one.
Right.
Step two, there should be reviewing. On the table of the special prosecutor, he only sees step 3, which is the granting of that exemption. And so step 1 has filed, step 2 is being filed, and then he sees a granting. And his question is, who applied for it? The name is there. The person did not apply. The staff, please, the document you read states clearly that per the special prosecutor's investigation, the staff of LaBianca accepted that they had not applied for it. So in the country where we have, can I please land? In the country where we are financially distressed, where our exemptions is becoming a problem, we decide now to grant exemptions to the very rich people who have the financial muscle. A practice that I, Jeffrey Okansi, have always said, that we are granting exemptions to extractive companies, multinational enterprises. But look, go to Makola just now, that Kayayo, who pays her pity. Okay, the petty ones they pay. They are on her to pay that toll this morning. Go to Stiptoe Lane, they are paying. My mother is running a shop in Ugai, will pay taxes. And you want to tell me...
But your taxes you're paying, remember, it's also according to the value you're adding anyway.
Never... That's what I'm telling you, that when it comes to tax payment, we work with percentages.
Right.
It's not about huge amounts.
Right.
It's about percentages. Please, let's calm down. Listen to me. I'm saying if you pay 1,000 cedis and I pay 100 cedis, okay?
This is a news hour. Are you going to give me the same title?
Boss, listen.
No. I'm sorry.
I have 3 things to say.
I've no business being here.
Am
I going to have the same
Can I say 3 things?
You're not being fair in a sense.
I'm being fair.
Hold on. I started the debate with you.
And
Even
I stood
before
here. I
I
listened
went
to
to him, I went to Dennis, and we lost him. So I involved
And you
him.
went back to
think
Dennis.
you
So he
that
is
time
now
that you
making
give to
his
him.
point. Why don't you just want to allow
Look,
that?
only 3 things I'm applying for. I'm saying this is a legal issue.
It's repetition.
This is a legal issue. It was about a law that exists, that it falls between the ambit. But the law itself, he's benching on, has been abused. There was no application.
Okay.
There was no review.
Okay.
The special prosecutor, as a person, as he sits there, he's not an individual. He works with the same instrument that the custom is working with.
So
And
can you
it's
tell
custom-
me the specific
Dennis-
law that the woman violated? Can you tell me specific laws that... Because the
You
woman...
see-
Hold on. The woman presents her documents. It's left onto custom to come out with your values and say, go and pay this duty. This is the assessment. Hold
You
on.
know what?
Okay.
There's history to this practice.
Brother, hold on.
The president of the Republic
Hold
of
on,
Ghana,
hold on.
Nana Addo Dankwa
Please,
Akufo-Addo,
hold on.
had the opportunity at a point in
Hold
life
on.
to apply for free for a grant.
My brother,
within the
hold on,
laws
let me tell you something.
Because of
My brother,
interest,
hold on.
that
Hold
thing
your
called
breath, my brother.
Interest.
Can I
Then
make my
you
point?
have to protect your interest. The president
We were in
rejected.
this country
Why did he
when the
reject?
vice president, the economic management team, including the finance minister, they give benchmark values to Ghanaian importers. What was it by law? Where were you by
Excuse
that
me?
time? The benchmark value that was given to Ghanaian
It
business.
was legally done.
No.
Please.
So there was no law.
Benchmark.
They did
Boss.
not go to parliament. There was no law.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Okay.
telling you,
You
there
know
was
get
no
what?
your
law.
In your studios,
So
in your studios,
Right.
you remember in this studios,
he should drag vice
when we're
president,
reviewing,
he should
we
drag the
were
finance
the budget
minister.
review. The
There
budget
was
review.
no law, I'm
I was in your
telling you.
studios. I have evidence. I
That
sat
there
in your
was law.
studios. No. I have even complained with you on around this table. You remember
So
there were times that they
so
granted
what is
exemptions
it?
without going through parliament.
So
So it's not new.
So-
And I told you at the start of this
So those ones that win,
two wrongs will never make it right.
president
But two
to be
wrongs.
hauled.
Samson.
The
Okay.
finance minister should be
Samson,
hauled.
Samson.
You have to go to
You agree
court.
with me?
Samson.
No,
Samson.
I want you to go to court.
I'm
So
sorry,
that
I
it-
need
But you
your
cannot
attention.
grant exemptions
Geoffrey, I
when you
need
know
your
we are
attention. Samson,
right.
are you saying that you are doing equalization here?
What is equalization here?
What you're saying?
I'm saying that the importer does not assess himself. Whatever happened, the special prosecutor should deal with Jerry and not the innocent person,
No,
business
but
person.
if you make reference to
that's the-
benchmark, and you said that because benchmark did not actually go through the legal regime before it was applied, and you are trying to equalize it to
He
what
is
LaBianca
saying that including your good self, he's saying that they need application before I go to review. Was there any application?
for benchmark values.
Yes, that discount that was given to business community in this country.
So because of that,
No, I'm asking
so because
you.
of that, LaBianca
Let's
should be
accept
left.
it, you
No,
are
you
in the
can't
middle.
ask me a question. I'm the
also
one asking
present
the
those-
question.
that was not the special prosecutor as well.
So two
Two wrongs
that
will not make
is
it
the
right.
special prosecutor now having a court not in his office?
Okay, hold on.
To determine
Hold
the
on.
constitutional
No, so
Alright,
report that one to
requirement?
him. You need
Is
to.
that it?
Sorry.
Don't accept. I think you have
Sorry.
to report that one to the special prosecutor.
If I mean that's a different matter.
That's a different
Dennis,
matter.
He's in this country.
hold
We
on.
should not interject
Hold
with
on.
He's in
another.
this country.
Sorry, Dennis, are you there? It's unfortunate that we are not having.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Great, thank you. So let's try it again. Just make your point, and then we'll see where we'll go from here.
Well, I can hear you, but you see, we are to educate the listening public, and I'm so sad that this conversation has moved from education and situating an argument on the base of law into emotions and shouting and making so much noise that the listening public will not even understand what we are talking about. You see, when you were reading point 4.19, you left a fundamental statement that I was expecting you to read. At a point, the report is telling us that there was no application. But look at paragraph 2. He said that is to say the application was not amiable to have been transformed into an application for customs advance ruling. So what application are you talking about? So it means that there was an application.
There was an application.
No, there is no
it says that the application was not amenable to have been transformed to an application for customs advance ruling. How do you understand that?
So what application are we talking about?
The application
and he also said, take your time. And he also said, should the application in its original form be rejected? What application in its original form?
You go ahead. I'm listening to you.
So if one person, at a point you are saying there is no application, at another point you are saying the application should if in its original form was rejected. So it means that there's an application somewhere. Let us situate all our conversations and leave emotions out and look critically at the customs law. The law is simple. It gives no discrimination to whoever one is applying. If you apply, the authority to accept or reject or vary lies within the bosom of customs. If all of us as a country think that section 12 of the act is absolute and we don't need it, then let us have a different conversation. But the fact that a law-abiding citizen who is an importer has applied under this section and was granted same, we should not paint him as if he's done something which has never been done before. Yes, customs could have rejected it or approved it, and the customs approved it and even varied it, because the applicant was seeking a reduction of about 50%, but was given only 5%. So we should ask ourselves, is section 12 still relevant? And I would say yes, because Ghana is a member of the World Trade Organization, WTO. And as part of the agreements and its protocol, advanced customs ruling is there.
Okay.
Ghana, secondly, is a member of the World Customs Organization.
Do we have documents?
And advanced customs ruling is there.
Do we have documents to prove that? I'm sorry. Do we have?
Did you listen to the? Did you listen to?
Do we have documents?
He said. Did you listen to the commissioner? He said even when he went for his interview with the OSP,
right,
he went with copies of documents, letters, and approvals that his predecessor had already granted. Same. So let us take emotions out and the trying to make it look as if this is the first time customs is approving any applicant's application when it comes to section 12 of the law. A lot of people have applied. Some have been approved, some has been rejected if customs are not satisfied with the conditions and the documents that you present thereof. So let us look at the situation very well. And also, my sister, I'm coming. I need to clear this. The fact that we are trying to imply or create an impression that the applicants got the approval because of the position she finds herself is also factually inaccurate.
Absolutely.
Because listen, read the report very well. There was nowhere that the customs division told the special prosecutor that the applicant put a gun to their head before they approve, or the applicant threatened them with their position. So if the authority that approved it did not say or complain that he was under duress or somebody forced them, how can you think for that person and say, for me, I think that because of the position, that is why you did it for him?
But then
Where is it placed? Where is it situated in law?
That would be oversimplifying the issue. That would be overly simplifying the issue.
We are talking about law here. You see, that is the whole argument. I want all of us to restrict ourselves to the dictates of the Customs Act and not speculate. Immediately we go into speculation, we are not educating our listeners.
Right.
We are just trying to say what will please the people. No. Let us look at the law. Let us think through the law and see where the law has been violated. If there's a violation of the law, the special prosecutor should head to court.
Okay. All right. Dennis,
if we have even time, I would have even addressed the special prosecutor's attempt to try and reverse an administrative decision by another act or another institution that is created by law. The Supreme Court of this country has ruled on those issues already. So, in effect, even that order to try and reverse an administrative decision of another creation of the Constitution is even wrong.
Exactly.
So let us situate the argument where within the confines of the laws and stop being emotional and talking about my mother is paying tax, your brother is paying tax. If the law allows for a certain relief to be enjoyed by an importer, and the importer avails herself or himself to enjoy it, why are we painting that person black?
Okay.
Gradually, we are going to destroy indigenous Ghanaian companies. That is the same thing we have done as a country, and now the sugar importing community, no Ghanaian imports sugar. It's only the Lebanese that does that.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Dennis. Dennis Amphosepha is President of Chamber of Freight and Trade. Wrap up. 1 minute each, please. Or 30 seconds.
Well, I take exception to the comment that we were speculating. Because I heard you read from a document. And I think it's rather below the belt, but I'll tolerate it for this afternoon. I'll tolerate it just for this afternoon. But let me educate my brother again to say that I was speaking to a law, and you were speaking to a document which stated that there must be an application and then a review. Holistically, you look at it, and that was the proper thing the special prosecutor went by to call off. Let me tell you what, when we talk about tax justice, he needs to read a little more. Even the World Trade Organization he quoted accepts that poor countries and middle-income countries should stay away from tax exemptions because it's one of the ways we lose money. As I speak with you, Ghana, where we are now, our revenue generation is poor. And if you come to tell me that at a time, not at any other time, the day they passed that law, we were not in a situation like this. And at a time when we've told everybody to fasten your belts, if you go by and grant such a one-ton tax, and we are telling you that at that time, when the person has not even applied, it aggravates the issues. What our advice finally is that the GRA is doing their work. Special prosecutor is doing his work. By the laws, if the GRA finds his actions to be troublesome, I'm sure there is
deal with it.
To reverse it.
Right.
That's the best way to go.
Quickly, please.
I want my brother to understand that the woman did not invade any tax in this country, so far as I'm aware. Hold on.
No.
I was quiet. I was quiet.
Beyond that, he did once. Let me do this. Beyond that, he keeps referring to the woman. I think you've not mentioned any woman's name.
Labeka, the company.
So you keep mentioning the woman.
Okay,
and
for now, because it's legal issues, the CEO of La Bianca.
We cannot do that.
Eunice.
La Bianca is a company. And let me educate my brothers on this one. When you are dealing with a company issue like this, the company is an entity. It's a legal entity. It can be sued and be sued. Or you can sue and be sued. So on that note, please, the woman is not part of it. If you want us to come another day and discuss about conflict of interest, we can handle the conflict of interest. If it comes in like this, I'll come in with conflict of interest. If it goes ahead like this, I'll come in with conflict of interest.
This afternoon on the Metro TV screen, Miss Eunice's picture was on it when you were giving the news. So if I refer to her,
in her capacity as the CEO
the woman,
of La Bianca.
if I refer to her, the woman, what is wrong with that? If I say, yes, did you know that the company is distinct from the woman, from the lady, from the CEO, and everybody is saying that the woman is the woman? It is legal. The company can be sued and be sued, isn't it? So if the company has an issue, Why we're not dealing with the company, but we are dealing with the individual person.
But she deals with
no,
LaBianca.
that's what I'm saying. That is LaBianca. So just say LaBianca.
My brother, you say I give you a space.
Our time is up, so you just land.
So for us, we strongly believe that perhaps maybe they are looking for someone else at GRA and using that discount to get the person. And there's no way that the CEO of LaBianca was sitting at GPHA board as a board member can influence someone at GRA to get that special package that she got.
Okay.
She wasn't in the GRA board. Okay. And then the person still use the word that because of her official position, she meddle and peddle or whatever. She used those terms. If that's the case, then the finance minister, current sitting finance minister, his company is Data Bank. Anytime they go to, hold on, no, I'm not veering up. Anytime they go for any loans, consignment, and whatever for this company, this bank goes to sit there, ask finance advice, and get profit. Okay. Is it not in conflict of interest? Okay. I don't know using the office to pay.
That's a great point. So we are using. So thank you. Thank you. We will. You're watching News Beat on Metro TV. We'll go for a breather. Be back shortly. Welcome back to Newsbeat here on Metro TV. It's time for us to do some more stories. And the Ghana Journalists Association says it's wrong for the Adan Traditional Council to blacklist a radio Adan from covering the 2022 Asafoetida Festival. At a news conference, President of the Association, Albert Kwabena Dufo, said the decision is an affront to press freedom.
Colleagues in the media, you may recall that in my inaugural speech on June 30th, 2022, I underlined the commitment of the June 4 administration to defend press freedom at all times. In that regard, I indicated our intention to establish a fund called the Journalist Support Fund to address press freedom and welfare matters. This morning, we have invited you here to address an issue that touches the heart of press freedom and which needs urgent attention. This has to do with the decision of the Ada Traditional Council to ban Radio Ada from covering this year's Asafoetida, the festival of the chiefs and people of the Ada traditional area. Upon hearing the news, I directed the General Secretary and the National Organizing Secretary to go to Ada to gather first-hand information on the matter to better inform our intervention. The GJ delegation, which also included Mr. Efo Maugbe, interacted with staff of Radio Ada and persons close to the Ada Traditional Council. And so we have a good appreciation of the issues at stake to inform our address. Ban on coverage of Asafoetida. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, it is instructive to note that since its establishment 24 years ago, Radio Ada has covered Asafoetida every year. It is always accorded prominent place and space to mount its outside broadcast equipment at the festival grounds. But this year, for the first time in its history, Radio Ada was denied its status at the celebration of Asafoetida. The blacklisting of the radio started with the Ada Traditional Council not inviting Radio Ada for the coverage of the official launch of the festival at the Treasure Island, Ada, on June 30th, 2022. On July 14th, 2022, the management of the radio station wrote to Ada Asafoetida Planning Committee 2022 to draw its attention to what it believed to be the inadvertent omission to the regular protocol of the Planning Committee. The management followed up on its letter with a delegation to meet the Ada Traditional Council on August 1st, 2022, to further discuss the matter. According to officials of the radio station, the outcome of the meeting with the Adan Traditional Council was positive. However, the Adan Traditional Council followed up with a letter to the radio station same day, August 1st, 2022, delivering the council's decision to place restrictions on Radio Adan as follows. 1. Radio Adan will not allow to mount a stage, Radio Adan will not be allowed to mount a stage at Adan Asafoetida Park. The sound.
You're also watching Newsbeat on Metro TV. Winston Taki standing by with the business news. Winston, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Annie. In business, the Ghana city has lost over 30% in value. These and more updates from the world of business. And now to a first business story. The Ghana city has lost over 30% of its value as against the dollar, according to the business development manager of B5 Plus Limited, Sandeep Solani. The depreciation of the currency has affected the pricing of their product on the market.
Seriously, the CD depreciation is affecting us a lot because, you know, we are importing most of the items and every day we cannot change the price. Being a buyer, you will not accept every day I'll tell you that the prices have gone up. So we have to seriously think before doing the pricing because we have to see past prices, we have to see upcoming prices, we have to see what is on the sea. So it's really a big challenge for us to do the pricing, but at the same time we have to see our users. We should not affect them directly because they are also, you know, using it. So keeping all those things in mind, our chairman is always taking just steps to cover. Maybe our profits should be reduced, no problem, but we have to serve the society also. So we are just trying our level best how we can cope up with this situation. Government has to fix the CD rate somewhere down the line because this is something very key to any business, just not steel industry, any steel industry or any industry. CD rate has to be, you know, come to some point where it has to be fixed because if we are changing the CD rate every day, it is affecting everybody.
The phone line by Daniel Nim to speak to us more on Ghana's rating by Fitch from B negative to CC. He's the president of the Policy Initiative for Africa Development. Good afternoon. Welcome to Newsbeat.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Great. Ratings agency Fitch has downgraded Ghana's economic outlook to CCC from B negative. What does this mean, basically?
Yeah, thank you very much. It has two key implications. Number one, what it means is that our financial position as a nation will not allow us to borrow so much from the capital market. So what it means is that if we should, investors should give us money, we may have difficulty with repayment as and when they fall due. So by these ratings, what it means is that the Ministry of Finance going to the capital market may not get the expected quantum in terms of value that they wanted. That is the first aspect of it. The second implication is that if investors still wanted to take the risks and give us money, then the rate will be high as expected. Will be very high. That's the coupon rate that will be associated to that facility will be very high. So by this rating, what it means that they are telling investors that watch out for Ghana. Ghana has a very difficulty in terms of liquidity, and in an event where you extend facility to Ghana, they may have difficulty meeting repayment obligation as when they fall due. So we being put into that category means that our ability to borrow money from the capital market has been curtailed to a certain degree, and that's the reason which by this grading, the government have to push more for the IMF facility, because what it means is that our ability to borrow from the capital market is a slim margin. I mean, we will not succeed that very well.
Right. So far, we've experienced two downgrades from both the S&P and Fitch. Are we to expect something different from Moody's as well?
Where I sit, I expect the similarity to follow because almost all of them have the similar kind of indicators in terms of how they perceive. You know, as it stands now, our debt stock is high, almost about 80% of GDP. Inflation 31.7. Policy rate is high, meaning that the cost of borrowing, cost of living is high within that economy. The private sector is crying for liquidity because they can't access money from the banks because of the cost of borrowing. So taking these indicators into consideration, our macroeconomic environment has not been too good. Our physical gap is high. So there's that propensity that extending facility to Ghana may not be well. So I expect other rating agencies to also downgrade the economy.
What immediate measures can the government take to restore investor confidence into the economy, considering the fact that inflation is raving around 31.7%?
Yes, and unfortunately, where we find ourselves in a very difficult situation because the inflation is coming from the supply side that is cost-driven, and the only way that the government can mitigate is to subsidize some of these things. And as it stands now, government is broke, and government doesn't have that financial capacity to do same. Now, one of the things that will bring about the credibility will have to be with this IMF facility that we're looking at. Once this money comes in and we beef up our reserves and we are able to meet repayment obligations that are staring at government, then the government may now have that fiscal space to focus on domestic revenue for execution of some of the projects. So the government have to work very hard and facilitate and fast track the negotiation with the fund, so that once this IMF money comes on board, that credibility will be there, and we cannot have the opportunity to knock at other doors as expected.
Thank you, Daniel Nim. Unfortunately, that's our time will permit us here on Newsbeat. My name is Winston Taki. We'll be back with sports with Phil John Corte after this break.
It's time for your midday sports. My name is Phil John Quarty. Let's go straight to North America in Costa Rica, where the national under-20 women's team, the Black Princesses, are preparing to open the account of the World Championship against the United States of America. Ben Feko speaks about the readiness of the team.
Just about 4 days to be in Costa Rica. I have 3 training sessions, and everything is going well. Let's respond to the itinerary well, but the place is too crowded. You can see every day it rains every day, so it becomes very difficult for the players to cope with the pitch because they fall down here and there every day. Even yesterday, when it was too much rain, we have to train in the indoors, and today we have to be here and making sure that maybe the field is okay for us. But it's the same situation as we train on Thursday, and it's become very difficult for us. So I wish the girls will have a stored boots which we can help them a lot before the competition starts, because if not, that it's going to be the same showering every day, it's going to disturb the players in the tournament. Far from the game itself, and here we are very close to the tournament, and we always have to let the players know that we are very close to the tournament. So we have to psych them a lot as we play the France game, as they know that yes, the game is coming closer. Now it's becoming closer and closer again. Here we are in Costa Rica, so they know that now, just a few days to the tournament. So we just psych them, for them to know that they should get ready, and we know they are ready also. Learn from that match we played last in France. So for now, what I can say is that the girls are ready. We wish that we don't have any injuries and anything as we are heading towards the tournament. I know the girls.
That's your sports. My name is Phil John Corte, and I is ready for showbiz.
Thank you, Johnny. Up next is entertainment news. My name is Anaya Tanawache. Now, artist manager and publicist Elon Bini has disclosed that the role and impact of music public relations in modern times are critical for the Ghanaian music industry. According to him, although some artists see music PR as luxury but not a need, PR is a necessity for the music industry.
The work of a music public relation requires more effort than just announcing new songs, upcoming events, projects, or partnerships. Music PRs are expected to be liaison officers who relate information between the artist and the media or relate info to their fan base. Ghana can boast of several artist publicists in the music industry, including Elon Bini, Pep Jr., Bull God, Flo Deli, David Mawley, Bosu Kule, amongst others. Now speaking on how important music public relation personnel impacts the music industry on Entertainment Review, artist manager and publicist Elon Bini expressed that music PRs are equally important as an artist. According to him, modern PRs in music industry are critical.
The PR is as equally important as the artist because after production, almost everything related to the content of the artist revolves around the PR, either within the record label or outside the record label, which is engaging the media and engaging the fan base and engaging even events promoters. Almost everything revolves around what? The PR or the PR team, because they decide what goes out and what comes in and even refine certain information or press kit whatsoever. So it's very, very, very important. But when you come to Ghana now, it's like when we are talking about PR, it's like a luxury to many of our artists, and they will give some flimsy excuses. Yes, which is not right. In modern media now, PR is what runs a lot of things, if not almost everything.
She may have she may have made the headlines in recent times with her rap being known as Big Ivy, but Ivy Ajima has been involved in creative art space for a very long time. For those who may not remember her, today we throw back to a Ghanaian series called Regimental Sergeant Major, produced by Farmhouse Production.
Ivy Ajima started acting as a student at Ola Senior High School in Ho and later joined David Donto's drama group Cozy Cozy, where she performed in several stage plays, including the hit drama A Song of a Goat. While in a series that has popped up on social media, Big Ivy, as she is popularly known now, played Magajia in a Ghanaian sitcom known as Regimental Sergeant Major RSM, which was shot in 2017, produced by Ivan Kwashiga and written by the late Efo Kojo Maugbe. The sitcom also featured the late Emmanuel Ama and actor Fifi Coleman.
A mission to carry on, sir.
Carry on.
Private on the double. Left, right, to the basement. Left, right, left, right. Come back here. Left, right. Halt. Private, give me 6.
Oh, mommy.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Up to the basement. Left, right.
For many, they are now getting to know Ivy Ajima, now Big Ivy, through her music, but she has been around the creative art space for a long time.
Regimental Sergeant Major, some members of your regiment are likely to be found missing in love action at Checkpoint Charlie. May I have your permission?
That's all on entertainment news. Annie, over to you.
Thank you, Nanaya. Now let's take the international stories.
Two days after Kenya's general election, officials are yet to announce who is leading the presidential race in East Africa's regional powerhouse, as confused citizens struggled to make sense of divergent tallies from the media in a nail-bitingly close race. Media houses are tallying results from images of forms that the Election Commission uploaded from more than 46,229 polling stations, a mammoth task that means their tallies lag far behind the amount of raw data available. In Sierra Leone, Vice President Mohamed Juda Jallo has announced nationwide curfew after security forces clashed with demonstrators in Freetown. This comes after anti-government protesters in Sierra Leone clashed with police in the streets of the capital, Freetown, which turned deadly. South Korea's capital, Seoul, will move to phase out semi-basement flats after 2 women and a teenager died during flooding earlier this week. The tiny flats featured in the Oscar-winning film Parasite are usually rented out to people on low incomes. Seoul will no longer give out permits to construct such homes from this week on and will gradually convert existing apartments, officials said. In France, more than 1,000 firefighters are battling wildfire in the southwestern France that has already destroyed nearly 7,000 hectares of forest. The raging blaze near the city of Bordeaux has gutted a number of homes and forced 10,000 residents to flee. Firefighters have described the wildfire as a monster. Strong winds and high temperatures are hampering the firefighting operation.